Okay, so customer called in. We got him on the schedule. We got the technician out there. He did an amazing job. She did an amazing job with an estimate. Now we got it approved. Now let's go over to the job. So right here, I can go ahead and click on that. It's going to shortcut us over to a job. Or if we want to find it another way, we could head over into operations, go to jobs, and that should show up as well. So when we're looking at a job, jobs are pretty powerful. And the reason why they're so powerful is because this might be where, hey, we could only do the tree removal on day one, the tree root removal on day one, but the actual liner we couldn't do until 5 days later. It could be because the parts weren't in. It could be because whatever it was, right? Hey, let's stop the noise. We'll come back and do the rest later. And that's just in this example. But if you're an arborist, you might do it where it's like, hey, we're going to do the tree removal, actual like stump grinding, everything like that on day one. And then there's other trees in the yard that we're going to come back and do tree care for, apply some nutrients to help them grow later on, because they're two different crews going out and I want to track profitability between them differently. So the way it works is we have this whole kind of job flow for you guys. So just like estimates, you have the overview and we can add any tags that we want. It pulled in from the estimate, hey, this is going to be about 4 hours. It's not reoccurring. It's not attached to any plan or any subscription. At a glance, we've had one appointment signed to one team member, no equipment's needed. There's 0 checklists, and we've had one estimate and one invoice so far. We've got all the customer's information. It tagged what the initial service was, but let's go over to the work details. So it automatically brought over that description, and now what we could do is we could go in and add more services. And if I would have had the liner in there, all of that inside of those services, instead of doing custom line items like I did on the estimate, all those would automatically be added in here. Added to a team member. I can add multiple team members if I want, so that way it shows up on their mobile app automatically. If the team didn't log any hours, I can come in here and log hours manually to make sure that everything is being tracked. And now I'm going to go over to resources here. So now resources is where I can go in and add a custom record. And same thing, I can go in and add any equipment. Looks like we don't have any in this account. So I'm going to pause it, go create some, and then let's add them inside of here. Okay, so I added one really quickly. I'm going to go and add that record. It's a service report. And on here, whether I'm the technician out there doing this on the mobile app, I might do this and just do like main line, and I might write in there something like has roots coming through, but other than that, it is in great shape. So now I have all of my notes, and all these are custom, by the way. I could have created whatever I wanted here, but for the sake of this revenue tutorial, kept it pretty simple. And so any equipment would show up here. That way, any technician, anybody working on this, automatically knows the overview, the work details, what resources are involved, how they're what they're walking into. And then let's go over to inventory. So on this case, we would use one of our liners. Okay, so let's go up to add a product, and I just went in and added our liner here. So there's a lot of different vehicles we could do this with, but cured and pipe lining. So we're gonna add that in, and let's say we measure it and it's like, hey, you guys are gonna need 35 feet of this, and we're gonna go ahead and save that changes there. And so now that automatically deducted that 35 feet from our inventory, keeping track of how much we have left there. Going over to checklist. This is if you guys want your technicians to be able to Hey, did you turn the gas back on, right? That's did you make sure you did all the little things? Did you cross your T's, dot your I's, so that everything is you don't forget stuff. You don't have to go back for another service call, right? So let's go into the schedule. We got the initial diagnostic that was associated with it, and the technician right there is going to be like, hey, he's there. They just approved the estimate. Or maybe you have the AI do it later if they wanted to sit on it and think on it and then did it later at night. But they call back in, you notice the next morning, whether they call back in or you notice the next morning, and you can come in here and actually go through that appointment flow like we did in the first video here to get a new appointment on the schedule. Okay, well, let's say you go out there and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, actually, I love that we got the liner in there and everything, but could you guys, since you guys are here, could you do a little bit extra work? Well, obviously we want to say yes if you have the time and if it works, and this is where we could go ahead and create a change order. Now, a change order is really cool. It attaches everything, keeps everything organized. It's a little outside of the main revenue engine. I just want to highlight that it's here. But let's go over to notes and files. So any internal notes that your team needs to take about what's going on, any files you need to upload, any problems, permits, anything like that you've ran into, floor plans, receipts, this is where you'd upload them. Now, go over to billing. Here you have that estimate for quick reference. Okay, that's what it was for. If there was a deposit, it would already paid that invoice and subtracted it. It gives you your new invoice here. And then we can go over to activity and we can see everything as far as what's going on as well. Now, before we go in and we move on to the invoice, let's go on and let's say that we do the liner. Everything looks great, and then that customer says, "Hey, by the way, can you guys come out? Like, it's great to work with. We actually want to switch out a toilet. Can you guys come out and do that for us?" And so that's kind of a different job, right? It's a completely different thing, but depending on how you guys want to do your analytics, you can come in here and create and add a new segment. And then this is like, hey, I'm separating it out for tracking purposes. This needs to be different. So I'm going to come into here and I might say something like, like bathroom toilet install or something like that. Okay. And then if this is a repeat visit because your guys made a mistake, you can track that, and that's going to help you track your first time fix rate as well when it comes to the reporting. So let's go ahead and create that segment. Now you can see here that there are all of a sudden no estimates and no invoices. They just disappeared. It's because they're over here, right? And if you go to all, that's where they are. So the reason why they disappear is because this is kind of like a filter. Like, hey, I only want to look at the bathroom ones, and then that's where it's going to show. But if you want to look at the main work, the main reason you're out there, that's going to show up there. Or I'm going to look at everything all together. That's what we're going to see. Okay, so that's the job process through and through, and how to add all the details that you guys need.